Hello again, everybody. I'm John Kilgo. Welcome to another basketball show with the head coach of the Davidson Wildcats, Bob McKillop, brought to you by OrthoCarolina. Coached 2 games last week in the A-10. You've told me on many occasions you love this league, but you never know what's going to happen in this conference, do you?
Competitive, tough, challenging, exciting. And 2 games that we were right there late in the game and had chances to win the game, and we just didn't have enough gas left in the tank, John.
Talk to us first, Coach, about that Richmond game. That was on the road last Tuesday, an 84-76 win for Richmond. Kind of summarize what happened in that game.
Great crowd, and we were on our heels defensively, primarily because they made shots, and they're a difficult team for us to match up with relative to our roster because they could beat you at 5 positions offensively, and they could do it because they're so skilled. You cannot back off anybody. You cannot dare somebody to shoot. And in the first half, they made some critical plays against us that carried over into the second half. And I thought we had our opportunities. We came back strong in that first 4 minutes of the second half, went on a 10-0 run, I believe it was, and evened the game out and actually took a lead. But at the critical moments, we didn't get the stop we needed, or didn't make the shot we needed, or missed the foul shot we needed. And that's become sort of an Achilles heel for us.
After that Richmond game, the Wildcats came home to play Dayton, a team that was leading the A-10, or tied at that time for the lead. And Dayton is very good. And, Coach, you had a 13-point lead deep into the second half and then hit a little drought.
We hit a drought for several reasons. We had some costly turnovers. We missed some open 3-point shots. We missed a couple of foul shots. And credit Dayton. They're a superb team defensively, and they seem to get stronger defensively as the game carried forward. Whereas we just did not have that ability to sustain what got us the lead. And again, we find ourselves in a situation where we had a game-winning shot, and got a great look for Jack, and we just didn't fall.
I noticed in that Dayton game, Coach, they get their hands on an awful lot of balls defensively, don't they?
Quickness, length, a toughness, well coached, and the combination of all of those ingredients make them a superb defensive team.
This is not unique to Davidson by any stretch of the imagination, but teams are having droughts in college basketball. I don't know if it's more than it used to be, but you often see a team go maybe 5 or 6 minutes without a field goal now.
You know, I think there are a number of situations like that, teams having droughts, and also teams losing home games. I don't recall reading or watching or seeing as much of, as I've seen this year, of the droughts and the losing games at home as I've seen in this particular year.
Is that home game situation have anything to do with officiating being better or different, or?
This might sound crazy, but I think a lot of teams practice in their practice facility and don't have their main court as the primary practice court. And as a result, they don't have the comfort level they once had. And we've recognized that, and we understand that once the season starts, we spend much more time in the Belk Arena than we do in the Vance Center.
Well, those 2 tough games, Coach, and as you said, you could have won both of them. So that's life in the A-10.
It certainly is. Top to bottom in the league, every night is a battle.
When the Bob McKillop Show continues, we're going to come back and meet one of the unsung heroes on this Davidson basketball team, and we'll do it right after this. All you have to do to understand how valuable some of the bench players are for Davidson basketball is come to a practice, see how hard they work, and Coach Manu is one of your guys that works his rear end off.
Manu Giamoukis is like a Spartan Greek. He just goes after it every day. He challenges players. He wants to make them better. He doesn't back off. Sometimes he's a little bit too aggressive, But I'd rather have that than somebody who's a spectator. And he certainly doesn't spectate at practice. He thrusts himself into practice, rolls his sleeves up, and now as an experienced senior, he understands how to make us better, where he's needed, and what he can do to make us better.
And that carries over into pregame warm-ups before games, Coach. He's always got something positive to say.
Animated, energetic, inspiring. He's a joy to have on our team.
Jerry Latch had an opportunity to sit down and talk to Davidson Senior Manu Giamoukis.
It's time for this week's Players segment here on the Bob McKillop Show, and joining me is Senior Manu Giamoukis. And Manu, it's good to have you with us.
Great to be here.
Let's talk about your experience here at Davidson and taking it back right before then. How did you find out about Davidson College?
So my high school was a big influence to my decision to move over here essentially to the United States for 4 years and commit to a college program. And I was hoping at that time that it would be a basketball program as well. So I went through the whole process, did the applications, and did whatever I had to do. And I ended up having several colleges accepting me, Davidson being my top 2, but eventually became top 1 because I did a little bit more research on it. So I ended up coming here after my high school advisor advised me to do that as well. And from that point on, it's good experiences.
What has this last 4 years been like? And it's different for you, being in a foreign country. What has that whole thing looked like?
First of all, from the simplest things, food. It's been a change that I had to adapt to, and without no doubt, I'm trying to do my best to bring some Greek food into my cuisine and cook as much as I can. But also the times that people work in the United States. We don't have the 9 to 5, we have the famous siesta. So I had to adjust to that a little bit more, being on the go more hours consecutively. So.
Now you've had a critical role in this team, and I say that because you're one of the guys that's most energized in practice. You're pushing guys, which is critical in preparation. What has that role been like for you in playing that and keeping that energy up and the passion?
Looking back to my freshman year, I think Will Toney has been the guy that kind of led me to follow his footsteps in a way and see how to get that job done. Because when I talked to Matt joining the team, he told me that I would need to be able to push guys, push myself, so we can all get better. And, you know, years went by, became a senior. Some consider me like the leader of the scout squad alongside Tone. And it's just been amazing to be able to get better every day as an individual player. But while you do that, fight every possession against your teammates and then having them to be able to translate that into the game. It's just been an amazing journey that makes you tougher, makes the relationship stronger between the teammates, and it's just been an honor to do that.
Has it been nice, the international aspect of Bob McKillop teams and the program overall, to have this amount of international players surrounding you?
Definitely. It just brings more diversity to a team, and every single individual from a different country, including the United States, brings a different flavor to our game. And that we all abide by the rules of Coach Bob. But, you know, when you have a lot of guys that they don't have the same background, they don't even have the same mother language, and you have them orchestrated so well and have them dancing to the same music, it's just a dream come true for coaches, I think.
Now, before we wrap this up real quickly, one thing that people don't know that you enjoy off the court.
I guess I mentioned it before, it's definitely cooking. I have this passion from my mom because I've been alongside her in the kitchen when she was cooking lunch, dinners, and all that. It's just kind of been my passion. Growing up, I wanted to be a chef. But apart from that, I enjoy playing video games and hiking, you know, walking and enjoying a nice day, especially in Davidson.
Well, man, it was nice talking with you. And one more request before we go. I want you to take us to break and let everybody know we'll be back with more on the Bob McKillop Show.
Θα επιστρέψουμε σύντομα με περισσότερο περιεχόμενο στο show της Bob McKillop.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Bob McKillop Show. Each week, the Davidson basketball Twitter account requests questions from our audience using the hashtag #AskMcKillop. Coach, I have one here from Russell, New York City. How do you manage the confidence of individual players and the team as a whole throughout a season when you have so many ebbs and flows?
You need to approach it both collectively and individually. And whether it's a conversation, a text, an email, or a private video session, or a private individual instruction session, you have to try everything possible to build up confidence, to maintain confidence, to develop confidence. And our guys are very responsible and accountable. They're the consummate student athlete. And in their quest to be the best, they become a little bit fragile, more so than others, because they want to do it right every time. And that's a great thing to have. But sometimes it intrudes upon their ability to go on to the next play. They dwell sometimes on the mistake they just made. And it's that quest that is part of everyday life here at Davidson. So confidence is a very important aspect of our work with our players individually as well as collectively.
We have a question, Coach, from right down the road in Huntersville, North Carolina, from Derek. He wants to know what impact the Vance Athletic Center has had on your play on the court as well as your recruiting.
It's been one of the biggest additions to our program in my 28 years here. From the standpoint of our play on the court, it's a classroom setting which allows us to really teach and be teachers of the game and have our players be students of the game, because it's a quiet, intimate, controlled setting, no distractions whatsoever, so there's tremendous attention. It's also a place that is very inviting for our players to come and work on their own. And we've had players take the time to spend more hours in the Vance because it's always available, and it's almost like a private gym. So there's much more of a willingness upon their part to come into Vance than into the Baker Sports Complex, because they would have to share a court or space with somebody else. And from a recruiting standpoint, it's a signature statement about the direction this program has taken. The move to the A10 was one big step. The Vance Center, another big step. The amount of TV coverage we're getting, another big step. So all in all, the Vance Center has been a significant contribution to our program moving forward.
I remember watching many of your practices in Belk Arena. It'd be one thing going on upstairs, one thing going on somewhere else. There's a lot of noise. You've got that kind of taken care of now.
Yeah, the distractions that were part of those past experiences, and those players that played for us in the 90s and the 2000 through 2015, I'm sure they could validate those kind of distractions in a book, because it was kind of a chaotic atmosphere at times.
Tuesday night, Davidson had senior night when they welcomed St. Bonaventure in an A10 game. Coach McKillop is going to come back and talk about that night and his senior players right after this. One of the nights we always look forward to with mixed emotions, senior night at Davidson, when Coach McKillop and the fans and other players on the Davidson team, Coach, say goodbye for the last home regular season game to seniors. You have 4 of them this year that have really meant a lot to the program.
Well, they've gone through the process of transitioning from the Southern Conference to the Atlantic 10 Conference, and they're the last full class that came to us, recruited to play in the Southern Conference. So they faced an incredible challenge after their freshman year, when they were told we're no longer a Southern Conference team, we're an A10 team. And they've handled that with tremendous, tremendous success. The diversity of this particular group, all on schedule to graduate from varying backgrounds and wearing Davidson on their heart throughout their 4 years, no matter what their playing time was and no matter what their role was, they all helped move our program forward. It's always sad to say goodbye to seniors, but when you say goodbye to a group that gave their best, gave their all, and have become better as a result of their Davidson college basketball experience, you feel a sense of satisfaction, you feel a sense of pride, you feel a sense of joy.
One of those seniors, of course, is Jack Gibbs, who plays a lot of minutes. Coach plays hard, stays in the game. He's had a lot thrown at him defensively. How has he handled all of that?
Jack has had, as you said, a lot put on his plate. And if there's one regret I have relative to Jack, it's the injury factor that has been such a part of his experience here. He had torn his ACL in high school, and ever since he stepped foot on this campus, he's never been 100%. Whether it's the foot, the knee, or the shoulder, or the nose this year, Jack has missed some games, but the injury bug has been one that seems to hover around him quite a bit, and yet it has not at all distracted him from performance, from toughness, and through those injuries, Jack has really demonstrated his toughness.
I was sitting with Coach McKillop back in the summer talking about something, and Jack was out there working out, sweating, working hard. This group has been a group that's worked hard in the offseason to get better.
Yes, you look at the way they've transformed their bodies, you look at the way they have improved their technical skills. They have set a tone for us in the future.
It's hard to figure, Coach, how teams are going to play on senior night because the underclassmen want so much to win that game for the players that are going out. So I guess it's a situation as a coach you have to try to handle.
Well, you know what you're expecting because your four seniors will start, and when they had that first opportunity to start, it's certainly an exciting time for them.
And tell me quickly, how do you feel when you see those people come in with their parents or other family members to midcourt to shake your hands and talk?
It immediately resurrects memories of their 4 years with us, the times that we shared as we've shared this joy, and seeing where they are at that moment in their lives vis-a-vis the first time they stepped on campus. So I have many fond memories of the early days as well as their senior days.
Been a lot of growth with this group. 4 seniors for Davidson. They've had quite a career. Davidson has one regular season game left. That's Saturday night on the road against Rhode Island. We'll talk about that and more when Coach McKillop continues. Welcome back, everybody, to the Bob McKillop Show. Davidson on the road Saturday against one of the really good teams in the A-10, Rhode Island. They played earlier in Davidson. Rhode Island won a close game. The final score of 11 points doesn't indicate how close it was. But, Coach, you're going on the road to play them. It'll be their senior day, and obviously they'll be geared up and ready to play.
Well, they're fighting for that double bye. They have a very, very good team, experienced and talented and athletic, and Danny Hurley has done marvelous things at Rhode Island, resurrecting that program and bringing it to a point where they're in contention for an NCAA bid every year.
Coach, when you prepare to play a team like Rhode Island, how much tape of their team do you watch?
I will watch our previous game against them. I will watch the highlights from all of our previous games against them. In other words, the clips I have made over the course of the last 2 years. And I will watch their most recent game that is similar in style to what we play. And then, of course, our scout, whoever it might be for that particular game, I think it's Will Toney, he'll watch about 4 or 5 of the previous 4 or 5 performances that they have, and that together with what he did on our first preparation will put together the game plan and strategy.
And how much of all of this information that you gather from watching tape yourself and your scout, how much of that do you try to give to the team?
We'll have about a 20 to 25 minute film session, and we do it twice. And in that 20 to 25 minutes, they will see approximately 40 clips of what Rhode Island will do, both individuals, tendencies, as well as their schemes.
And Coach, one final thing here, getting to the foul line, we all know how important it is. How much do you talk to your players about, number one, not fouling, number two, let's get to the line ourselves?
It's a major point of emphasis, John, and we have a segment in practice. We call it foul me on offense, foul me on defense, with the emphasis being how can we draw fouls and how can we play defense and get fouls. It's a kind of a thing you realize has such a major impact on the game, and we emphasize it as part of our special teams segment, meaning the out-of-bounds plays as well as the foul line situation determine the outcome of the game. Much like field goals and punts and kickoffs in football are such a big part of football success, we handle out-of-bounds and foul line situations the same way. And I don't know what the latest statistics are, but I can recall several years ago reading that the New England Patriots won 3 Super Bowls by a total of 8 points, basically 3 field goals. So it's that little edge that you get in contests that are so tightly fought in a league where top to bottom every team can win, that they bring the dividends to lead you to success.
Coach Bob McKillop with you this season. Coach, it's been a joy working with you. This is our last television show. You have season left. Good luck to you.
Well, thanks to OrthoCarolina for their significant support of this show, and thanks to all of our fans for coming out and cheering us on. We look forward to having you back with us for many, many years. Thank you.
Thanks for watching, everybody.